Welcome to a full talk through on the network router or show settings are temporary. We're about to log into the network router, and this provides admin user and password to actually get in to the software that runs the network router. You'll see here we're looking at the router settings status, and we're going to go to the setup wizard. The setup wizard can set up the router automatically once the username and password are connected in the basic settings, and you'll see this shortly. But as I say, there's a manual option as well, as you can see further down on the screen. We have the option of putting in which country we're from, and then obviously clicking on to the next section to actually run that. Going into basics. The basics setting requires the connection of Ethernet or ATM, and the option of connecting the IP addresses automatically or manually. Ideally, it's probably automatic for most people. The DNS information again can be obtained automatically through this particular setup, and this is probably the most preferred way of getting both IP and DNS server connections. On to our next section. Let's just test if we can actually get connection, and I've pressed the test button, and hopefully shortly we will see the fact that we are indeed connected to the system with IP and MAC address information. There we have confirmation that we are indeed connected and have authentication to proceed, and the fact that we're online as well. All key aspects to it. Here's a success page proving the fact that we are actually online. This page is online and would only be available to us if we had connected online. And it also reminds us about the fact that we can set a password to reduce any access issues. So we should be looking at passwords as part of the setup within the Wi-Fi access and everything else like that, because that's obviously important in internet security. Otherwise anybody could access your router on Wi-Fi outside your house and surf the net using your internet connection and download whatever they feel like doing. So moving on, as I say, we have the ADSL connections, and this provides us or requests us the port number as well as LLC and VC settings. Now your provider, in my case I'm using a very well known provider, has given me the two port numbers here, and I'm highlighting these because these are extremely important. Without those settings correct, we're not going to get the connection. Wireless settings. Probably the most significant aspect of administration is this. This is the SSID. On other videos I've highlighted this, and the SSID will transmit from a router to through MAC addresses to laptops, etc. And we can actually protect our access through the wireless access options, security options, the WEP and the WAP keys, and we can put passwords onto our settings to protect the connection. Now I've just put the word password here so that you can see that this is in fact where we would put the password. So the passwords can give us that little bit of encryption cover, and we can change that to something that's suitable to us. We can access the wireless access list as well. Now you're not going to see many on here, but we are on the screen here, and you can see we have the option to turn it on and off. I've actually got some additional systems interconnected with the router that you'll see in a second, but this is where I would actually manually put them on should I wish to. Going to the attached devices, you're about to see the IP addresses and the MAC addresses for units that are connected to the router. and these are systems that will actually access through the router. So for example, if you've got a family that want to access the internet whilst they're actually on the property. The router status clearly indicates to us our connections, including local area network and ADSL settings, etc. And as I say, these settings can be changed to suit our needs, and we can actually manually put these in, but these are all really confirming to us the settings that we currently have for the system. And as you can see, it's quite a lot of information there, and well worth having a look at the information that you have on your system when you're connected. Diagnostics. IP addressing and pinging. You can actually test to make sure you have internet connection through pinging an IP address to make sure that everything's working. This is normally done in DOS, but there's an option to do this particular approach or particular process through the router settings themselves. You also note that there's a DNS option there as well. We have WAN setup. Now the WAN setup is an option for a WAN network should that be required, and the same we have the local area network as well, the LAN and VPN wizards, etc. So there are a number of different networks that you can have here, different types of connection, all within your router. And as I say, if you're setting up a Netgear router for the first time, this is what I would be looking at with you at the various aspects to it. And additionally to this, you've got remote management options. It speaks for itself in a way. It can be managed remotely. Now, on top of that, it should be noted that virtual private network, i.e. the VPN, is another option that you have available should you want it. All the settings can actually be saved onto your hard drive, and also you have the option to be able to reboot a router, and that